Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing a mostly full face of first impressions and giving you guys some honest feedback on some products I don't have a lot of experience with. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. Also, as always, I'm going to leave everything listed down below, and if there's any major changes to how I feel this stuff is, I will leave it down there. But let me know in the comment section if you've tried any of these items. What are your thoughts? Because I do love hearing your feedback. I'm going to stop ranting. Let's jump right into the video. So first thing I'm going to grab, this is from Supergoop. It is their new-ish sunscreen and daily moisturizer. It is meant to be used daily. It is an SPF 40. I have been on the hunt for more sun protection. I really like the one I've been using from Murad because blue light defense, really great for the skin, plus it has a peachy tone. But I'm all for trying new things. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Supergoop moisturizer. And hopefully we don't have an issue because I do have a sensitivity to not all, but most sunscreens. So issue number 1, my face is turning bright red. So this is going to be one of those sunscreens that I do have a sensitivity to. So that's going to go right into a give to my sister bin. Another issue, this does smell like pure sunscreen, which I'm not a huge fan of the sunscreeny smell. So yeah, right off the bat, first product is a no. Next, I am finally trying out, I've been dying to play with this, the new Tarte Found Sealer. I do have the brush that goes with it as well. This is in the shade 22B Light Beige. Medium buildable coverage. It says with a sponge you'll get like light coverage and with a brush you'll get more medium. So I am going to first, because I do want to give this its best shot, I'm going to take some of my HelloFab Pores Be Gone primer. I know I've said this to you guys before, but just to emphasize for some of you new viewers, when I am playing with a new foundation, I like to make sure I'm putting it on top of a primer I already know and trust. Beautiful. So I'm going to do half with the brush, half with the sponge, just to kind of see how it applies. So I'm going to take like 2-ish pumps. Okay, right off the bat, I definitely think this is the type of foundation brush I typically go for. I do like more of a densely packed brush, just because I find that it just kind of smooths everything over nice. It reminds me a lot of the, where is it? It reminds me a lot of the Sephora Matchmaster brush that I've been liking lately. It did look a little light when it first went on, but now that it is drying down, I definitely don't think it's too far off. Like, that's a pretty good match. With a little bronzer, I think it would be really nice. I definitely see everything coming through, so I am going to say that it is a true, like, light-ish coverage. I am going to just do a brush on both sides because if this is the coverage I'm getting with a brush, I don't know if I'm going to get any coverage with a... If this is the coverage I'm getting with a brush, then I don't think a sponge is going to be nearly enough. Words are hard today. It's early. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to take a sponge just to finesse a little bit. This is something I always do when I use a brush, just because I find I love the way a brush applies product, but I don't love the finish. I tend to prefer just taking a beauty blender over whatever I've done, just to kind of pull up any excess product and make sure everything looks seamless on the skin. So right off the bat, this is not set down at all. It is not really tacky. It definitely has more of a luminous finish. I do think I could have gone a little bit darker in the shade selection. However, I'll just add bronzer. Like, that's not really a big deal for me. For concealer, this is from Givenchy. This is the Mr. Light Correcting Lumiere Stick Pen. It is like one of those twist up. This is going to take a while because it's new. Concealers, I picked up the shade Shade number 1. 1 was the shade that looked very pinky, which, as you guys know, I do prefer a pink undertone. I would love it if I would get any... There we go. Ooh. Here we go. Yeah, we can make that work. So I'm just going to apply some of this. As always, I will link this stuff down below. This is... this is bougie even for me. I find like I'm not getting too much product coming out of here. Like I'm almost fighting with this to get anything. There we go. Alright, so first application, you're definitely going to have to really twist this up. So first impressions, before I've even blended it out, I love taking this down the nose already. Like this is super straight to like anything I ever apply on my nose. I will have to see how it blends and how it wears. And I know that's really bougie to have a concealer that you like just for the bridge of the nose. But you know what? For all those people out there who have that concealer they love for cutting the brow, you guys will understand having a concealer specifically for just one thing. That's really nice. Like the dark circle that I had on this side, completely gone. Everything looks nice and smooth. I definitely love the undertone on that. Having a concealer that's actually pinky is nice, because everything on me always looks white on the under eye, and I don't want to look white on the under eye. I want to look peachy, corrected. I agree with what I said earlier. This is beautiful down the nose. Like, I don't think my nose has looked this nice in a minute. I'm gonna get real close. Yeah, this isn't settling. This isn't budging. It also has a very similar finish to the concealer, where everything is still a little bit luminous and a little glowy. So if you do... I am not anti-glowy and radiant. I just find that personally, because of my oily skin, I need to make sure that I powder properly. And because I use an oil control primer, I shouldn't have an issue. I am just going to make sure there's no lines anywhere. And then we will be grabbing a setting powder. This is from Lawless. This is the Seal the Deal setting powder. It is in a travel size. I know I've said this to you guys before, but I have way too many powders for my own good. So, travel sizes are our friends. What I will say is this powder looks very yellowy, even though it claims to be a translucent. But it's not going on yellow. Like, it's going on translucent, but in here, it looks more like a banana powder. So I'm just going to very lightly set down the entire face. I need a bigger brush. So for complexion, primer, foundation, moisturizer, foundation, concealer, and powder, everything looks really nice. I'm definitely a little fair. I say that I'm fair, but it matches to my neck, so in reality, like, I'm just pasty. But I definitely like the way everything is sitting on the skin. It still looks very skin-like. So I'm definitely enjoying that. I am going to quickly throw on a brow off camera because I don't have any new brows to try. And then I'll be right back and we can go into eyes and face. I did have 2 options for eyeshadow today. Also from Supergoop. This is the Shimmer Shade SPF 30 cream eyeshadow in the shade Golden Hour, which... SPF is very important for skincare, and I don't put SPF on my lids. So when I saw this, I got really excited about the concept of having a cream SPF shadow to really protect the lids. I do also have the Huda Nude palette that I have not tried yet, but I think because the skin is so, like, natural, I'm going to stay lighter and just do, like, a little bit of bronzer with the cream shadow, and we'll use this in another video at some point. But yeah, so I'm going to link my full face Sephora collection video. I did use this once before, so you guys have already seen this. But I am loving it for contour, bronzer, blush, and highlight. So I'm just going to... No, we're doing eyes first. I'm going to take a little bit of Groundbreaking, this bronzer shade. And I'm just going to fluff that into the crease. I am going to be taking this a little bit more like diffused and all over the place because, again, we're going for a softer, like everyday kind of feel. And on that same brush, I'm just going to take that same shade and just kind of quickly run that on the lower lash. I'm going to take some of that golden hour on my finger and just press that into the lid. It is definitely more of a buildable, but still like, I hate to say barely there, but that's exactly what it is. It is barely there. It is gentle. So if you did want like an SPF infused wash of color on the lid, I mean, not to say it's not pretty, it's just definitely soft. It definitely gives you a little bit of like a pizzazz. But if you take where are all of my brushes? If you take a brush, and I'm going to take First Class right here because it's very similar to the shade that we already have. And I'm just going to set down that cream shadow with a highlighter. And you see how that just like transforms the shade? Pretty eyeshadow and sun protection. So the tone is very yellow gold. I don't dislike it. I just feel like I'm going to have to play around with layering things on top of it because on its own, it is a very barely there wash of color. So if you're looking for like an intense high shine metallic, this is not going to be it. However, most of those high shine metallics are not SPF. So even though I'm going to take a little bit of the highlighter on my finger just to build that up a little bit. There we go. So you can definitely layer, but for a product that is eye safe and SPF at the same time, giving you a little bit more sun protection, especially this time of year. Sun protection is important. Skincare is self-care. And because it's so monochromatic, I'm going to take a touch of a purple liner just to gently define the eye. For that, you could totally use brown. You can totally use black. Black I thought would be a little too intense, and I don't love brown liners. I typically like to go in instead with something a little bit more purple, just because that's what I like on my eyes. So I am going to move on to mascara. So I'm going to first curl my lashes, and then we'll be back to talk about a mascara. Then we'll add complexion so I look a little less sickly. So for mascara today, we're going to be testing out the new Dior Show Pump and Volume HD. This is a re-release of a mascara they already had. I've used the original Dior Overcurl before and the original Dior Pro. I've never used the HD or the pump ones because I just haven't. So I do like the applicator. It reminds me of the Benefit They're Real, which I don't love, but I like the applicator. So let me pull my mirror. So it is definitely not adding any volume. It is just curling my lashes and coating them in a nice black formula. What I will say, for a pump and volume mascara, I think if you're looking for volume, you are not going to love this. I personally don't love a lot of volume in a mascara. I prefer I prefer lift and separation. So for me, this is the kind of mascara I really go for. The eyes definitely still look bloodshot, so we're going to have to quickly tie up the face so that we don't look like a crazy person. So because you guys have seen me use this palette, I'm just going to quickly bronze the face with this. I'm going to probably mix these two blushes and highlight with the same shade we took on the lid, and I'm just going to... Alright, so we are back, and I'm not loving the bronzer in the lower lash line. I keep building up more to try and make it look better, and it's just looking too red on me. I feel like I look sick. So I'm going to stop messing with it and just kind of accept that that's just what it's going to be today. For lips, I'm going to start with, this is from Tarte. It is the new Sting Zing Plumping Lip Serum. It's got jellyfishes all over it. Ooh, it's definitely starting to tingle. I definitely feel a little, like, tingling sensation. I don't see much plumping on my bottom lip, but the top lip has already started to kind of engorge a little bit, so I think I like that. I did have two lip options today, but since one is buxom and it is plumping, I'm going to skip that. And instead, I'm going to go with the Too Faced Peach Puff diffused matte lip color. This is in the shade Stoked. Oh, great. Another twist up item for me to fight with. There we go. Really interesting texture. It's definitely soft. It is not 100% opaque. Like, I can still see... I hate to use the word patchiness, but I can see patchiness. So the color's a little bit pink for the look today, but the formula is very comfortable. I'm not angry at, the wear or how it feels. Definitely the applicator is not super precise, so this is not something I would take on its own. It's something I would either go in with a lip liner and then just use this to kind of fill in. But again, it's comfortable, it's pretty. I feel like if I was to have lined first and then really just use this to concentrate like here, I would have been much happier with it. But I don't dislike the formula. I don't love these spongy applicators because, like, if it takes me 6 weeks before I use this again, what is in that sponge, Mm-mm. And that is the finished look. So, quick rundown. The moisturizer is going to be a pass from me. That's just not my vibe. The foundation concealer powder combo I'm going to have to play with individually again because I do feel like my entire nose has no foundation on it anymore. And I don't know what that is or what's causing that. Like, I feel like I need to just majorly touch up my whole nose area. And I want to find what's causing that culprit. I do really like the Tarte brush. I think this applied everything very nicely. Nice and dense. I don't think it absorbed a lot of product, which is nice. The lip, I'm not entirely sold on. I'm going to have to play around with it on top of a lip liner. However, the plumper, I am definitely feeling. So I definitely see my lips are not overlined. They're just a little bit fuller than they normally are. So that's going to live right here front and center so I can play with that some more. The mascara, I think, is the big one of the day because this is giving me a similar to effect that I like from my roller lash, and that is my all-time favorite. So if I can get the same results out of this, I'm going to be really happy. I think the jury is still out on the Supergoop Eye base. I definitely think it gave a very pretty effect. I just need to play around with it, whether or not other colors layer on top of it as well, because this was a little bit gold. I mean, the color is golden hour, but I don't love gold everywhere. I feel like my eyes look very warm today, which I don't typically go for. So, not my vibe, but I loved the product, and if it's giving me some protection on my eyes, definitely a win from me. As always, I will try and link everything down below. Let me know what some of your feedback and thoughts on some of these products are, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!